Hello and welcome to another session in English language. And today we begin with speech work, particularly syllables. Then we move on to homophones and lastly punctuation. But before all of that, let us review the previous lesson. Welcome back. So we begin with speech work, introduction to syllables. And we know what a syllable is. The unit of pronunciation. Alright, unit of pronunciation. Alright, which is uttered with one breath effort. Okay, that's what we refer to as a syllable. A syllable represents a unit of pronunciation which is uttered with one breath effort. Okay, so that's what a syllable simply is. So words can be divided into syllables. Okay, you could have 2 syllables, 3 syllables, 4 syllables, 5, 6, 7 syllables. Now we could have words like this. We could have admit. So you can see the division, admit. So the unit of pronunciation which is uttered with one breath effort is syllable. Baby, baby. You can see that there was an alteration there with one breath effort. Baby, above. Beautiful. So that's 3 syllable. Carpenter, 3 syllable. Philosophy, 4 syllable. Information, 4 syllables. So in every word in English language, okay, most of the words, whether 2 syllables or more, are pronounced with force or energy. In other words, we are saying the syllable that receives the stress is pronounced louder, longer, and having a higher pitch of voice than the other syllables. Okay, it's having a higher pitch of voice than the other syllables. Okay, so we must take note of that. So the syllable that receives the stress is pronounced louder, pronounced longer, and has a higher pitch of voice. Now the voice, the force in pronouncing such words, okay, differs. Okay, especially when the stress is received in the first syllable. So the first syllable is pronounced louder, longer, and with a higher pitch of voice. And the same thing happens if it's the second syllable. So but we'll continue on that subsequently. So let's move into spellings. And today we are dealing with homophones. What are homophones? Homophones are a pair of words that sound similar with a different spelling and meaning. Okay, so homophones only sound similar, but their spellings are different and their meaning is also different. For instance, allowed. Allowed. So this is an homophone. Allowed. Steak. You can see now they are homophones. They are pronounced same way, but they are pronounced their meanings and their spellings are different. Fair. Okay. Court. You can see. Right. So why we say they are pronounced the same way is that if you look up their transcription, they are the same. For instance, if you look up the transcription of right, this is what you find there in your dictionary. Right. markers. Okay, in the dictionary, this is what you find there, right? So we have time too, time. So this is not fine, it's time. Okay, time. Then the same thing, the word principle. Okay, principle here is pronounced, this is not principal, this is principle. They are pronounced the same way, but their spelling differs and their meaning also differs. Then we have key. Then this is also key. This is not que, it's key. Then this is none, and this is also none. This is rain, and this is also rain. So there are tendencies that when they are pronounced, but their usage is what makes them different. Okay, so how do I know which one is being used? Okay, it's just the usage in the sentence. So just look for how it is what used. Remember we said that their spellings are not the same. Also, their meanings also are not the same. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing, and that is punctuation marks. So we begin with the first punctuation mark, and that is the question mark. The question mark is actually used at the end of sentences to ask questions. Will you give me a book? Will he come? Okay, so it is often used to ask questions that demand a reply. Okay, that require a reply. Many questions are signaled by words like who, which, why, whose, whom, when, what, where, how. Okay, so you could have things like whose clothes are these? Who is your father? Okay, and so on and so forth. Some questions are merely indicated by the question mark. He is meeting me after school. That's a statement. Okay, he is meeting me after school. That is a question. Some questions are signaled by the reversal of normal subjects. Should I ask mother for the money? Have they finished eating? Not they finished eating. Have they finished eating? Not I should ask mother for the money. Or should I ask mother for the money? Okay, so do not use a comma or full stop after a question mark. I repeat, do not use a comma or a full stop after a question mark. Is she ready? She asked. Don't put a question mark, full stop rather, or a comma after that. Okay, so a question mark within a parenthesis is used to express the writer's uncertainty. Okay, so every time the writer of a particular sentence is uncertain of something, a figure or a date, he uses the question mark in parentheses or what you call brackets. For instance, Okafor was born in 1980. You can see the question mark in parentheses. Okay, then we move on to apostrophe. Now, apostrophe, like the capital letter, okay, is used to express what you call the possessive case. Is used to express what you call the possessive case, to show ownership or that something belongs to you. Okay, so we use that to form the possessive case of nouns. Okay, this is John's pen. You can see the word on the line, John's pen. It is nobody's business. We are at Joe's house. Emeka's car. Chinyere's necklace. So these are examples of possessive case of nouns. You have the introduction of an apostrophe with an S. It shows that it belongs to Chinyere, Emeka. Okay. Then we could also use, but also one of the things I want you to note is that when the noun discussed is an inanimate object, please don't use possessive case with an apostrophe. For instance, don't say the river's bank. Say the bank of the river. Don't say the house's color. Say the color of the house. Don't say the table's legs. Say the legs of the table. Okay? Because those nouns are inanimate. That is, they are not living. Okay? So we also use the apostrophe to indicate contraction. That is, omission of certain letters. Okay? Then also we have the exclamation mark. We have the exclamation mark. Now the exclamation mark is used to indicate a feeling of surprise, urgency, incredibility, or a strong emotion. Okay? Of happiness, So do not use also a comma or a full stop after an exclamation mark. Okay, hooray! That's surprise. Hooray! You're happy. Wow! Help! That's an emergency. Help! Do it! Okay, so with this, we've come to the end of today's lesson. Thank you very much for joining this lesson. In order to refresh your memory and recall all that has been taught today, I would encourage you to take the test that appears on your screen.